Hey. Good afternoon to all my listeners out there, man. Listen here, man. It's your man, Sangria. I'm back in the building. And I got the opportunity, man, to sit down with an incredibly gifted artist,
Yes.
producer, writer, engineer. I'm quite sure he does all kinds of different
Business
things
owner.
because if
Yes.
you look
All
at
of it.
his bio, baby, it clearly is a proven person that's done a lot of different things in this game, baby, in the entertainment industry is what I should say. So for all my guests, baby, yo, listen. All right, Rico E. Anderson, what's going on with you, man? How you
Yeah,
feeling today, my brother?
I'm I'm wonderful. I'm easy like Sunday afternoon. That's all I can say. It's very it's Sunday. So it's
Yeah,
it's it's a natural chill day to just kind of reflect on the week and just figure out the next power moves and
yeah.
yeah.
How is
But
how has
that
the industry been treating you?
Oh man, well, I now with that, the industry has been all over the place, kind of up and down all around like a roller coaster, and it's been very challenging, but it's also had some wonderful moments. It's still having wonderful moments. The industry is always an ever changing beast, and
Hmm.
you just never know when things are gonna shift, when things are gonna stay stagnant, when they're gonna just kind of like flip you on your head. We got a lot of mergers going on. Of course, we're still feeling residuals from the strike. Hell, we're still feeling residuals from the pandemic, and that was
Hmm.
back in 2020, almost 6 years ago, five.
Yeah.
6 years ago. So we're dealing with a lot, and of course with a lot of the mergers going on, and just the world being what it is in relation to a lot of things happening here in the United States. It's very challenging. But one thing that I always say that I love about our industry as a whole, whether we are, no matter what the form of artistry, whether we're journalists, whether we're actors, writers, producers, what have you in this industry, we find a way to make it happen. And we find a way to continue what is happening despite everything that might be going on around us. And
Right.
I believe like 2020 really played a huge part in that, and that really tests a lot of our resolve. I mean, what we're doing here today was very
Hmm.
prominent in 2020, where this is all we had, and because of that, it became a huge creative hub for a lot of us as artists and as just people on both sides of the aisle as far as entertainment. So uh,
Okay.
Absolutely.
So before
So
we get into it too, I just want to say happy belated solar return to all of y'all. San, you, and Rico as well, and myself as well. We all Pisces, of course, you know.
thank you. Pisces in the house.
So happy belated solar return. Happy solar return. You know, we
I
all Pisces, so that's cool.
I get
absolutely.
that back
So
at you. It's always amazing every year to realize how many Pisces there are out there, and a lot of people that I know and people that I associate with, people I call friends, and it's just like we're a pretty dope bunch.
Yes, we
absolutely.
are.
And
Yeah.
pretty creative too. You know what I'm
Yes.
Oh,
saying?
yes,
Like
sir.
like you would be amazed at how many Pisces have done such mind blowing, never forgetting type things. You know what I'm saying? In
Oh
in,
yeah.
in all the industries across the board. But I for those that don't know you, right? I need you to let everybody know, man, where you originally from. You know what I mean? And actually how long you've been in this business, man, of doing the
Right.
things you've been doing, man.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm originally from Southside Chicago, Hyde
Okay.
Park. Yeah, so I was a Chi-Town boy growing up as a little boy. Um, my mom moved my then um, two brothers to and myself to and her to Northern California, Berkeley, and we've lived there in Berkeley, Oakland, and so I kind of split that answer as far as like where are you from. I always claim Chicago because those were my beginnings, and that so many wonderful memories growing up as a child there with family, friends, and just, those were the moments and the experiences that helped shape a lot of my future. And then going to
Yes.
the area, it was very much a huge cultural shock in so
Mhm.
many ways, but also a wonderful creative opportunity on so many ways, because I've wanted to be an actor ever since I was a kid. So I knew this way back in Chicago,
Okay.
but thumbs up. But the it really kicked in the Bay Area, which is
Okay.
very much a huge hub for entertainment, especially for theater, film, especially independent film. Hollywood will roll through there every now and then, and it's a great starter. It's a great university of learning your craft and really trying to figure out what you want to do in this business. If it is acting, I've always wanted to be an actor, so I've always known that. But you have so many other opportunities to dip your toe in and see and like see what's out there. And
Right.
even if you have one thing that you want to do as an actor, I've written, I've directed, I have worked backstage on crews for theater pieces and things like that. So I've been around the block as far as like having many experiences in those things. So the Bay Area is wonderful for that. So I'm always grateful for that, and I'm
So
always
you started acting at 12, correct?
at
Like what was
12.
that? Yeah, what was that experience like?
Yeah.
Like,
It was interesting because the way it started was I was on crutches because
hmm,
I was that rough kid that was just always I've broken it, I've sprung it, I've twisted it, I've cut it,
You
we're talking
you was
like
always doing something. You was
yeah,
always in the rougher end of doing something. I absolutely get
I
that.
was always coming to my mom going, "Mom, something's wrong with my foot." She's like, "Boy." So, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, I'm always breaking a foot or twisting a
mhm.
foot. But, I was just a very active child. And sometimes that landed me in the doctor's office. But with that said, I was on crutches for something. And we were in production for Jesus Christ Superstar.
Mm.
I was part of the chorus for that, and that was actually my first on stage experience where we're doing kind of like a chorus line style performance for the
Wow.
for the song "You Are the Christ, You're the Gracious." Now everybody, I'm the only one on crutches with a cast on, big old cast on my foot, and I couldn't really, do what they did the way they did it, but I still did it. I was on my crutches and I'm kicking, but I'm using my crutches. That it was almost like you have to be there, but it created like this funny moment. I'll just say where there was a lot of laughter, a lot of applause, and just a lot of fun that really hit me, and I was very heavily supported by my cast and stuff like that, so it was fun, and that kind of kicked it off, and then I ended up taking an acting class and really deep diving into the world of scene study and just music and things like that, and in high school did a lot of plays. We did operettas. We were in the concert chorale, the chorus, took part in some dance projects, and just really diving into the business as a whole, especially as a teenager in a high school that had pretty big state of the art technology as far as things that we were able to do. And we're talking from
Mhm.
being an actor on stage to working the crew, which I did a lot of, and working in a theater that was tied to the Berkeley City Council and
Okay.
the
Wow.
government. And so we had direct carte blanche access to like just really cool stuff that we could do that most high schools didn't do. I mean, our sets were
Right.
like top notch.
And so I got a question, right? Only because my journey has been a little bit. I understand coming from a big city. Now moved out cross coast. You know what I mean? And you're involved in school and all that. So one of my questions in my head, because I kind of know some of the experiences that I went through, right? So being that you from Chicago, right, and you was had Chicago-like tendencies. So the transition when you went to California, was that accepted? Did you have to prove yourself even more? Like, there's always going to be doubts because you have a different mindset coming from where you came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Sure.
and I totally get that. You know what I mean? Like all the different things that you became involved in once you got to basically California.
Sure.
So how did you navigate that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there's always going to be the non-believers. Let me just say that. Talk a little bit about, man, how you was able to navigate that whole transition.
For myself, it was hard because I was an 11-year-old kid who had this whole life in Chicago with like major, I was very close with my family. I had friends that were my day ones, and I just had a life and a lifestyle as a child in Southside Chicago that I was very used to and I was very comfortable with, and just all the things as a kid we just relax into, because for the most part we're not we're not thinking about bills, we're not thinking about life. So coming into California and just the different culture that it is, it kind of put me in a very introverted state where I was very it was a huge culture shock, and there was a part of me that didn't want to go. And as a result of that, I became super introverted, and I just kind of kept to myself for a long time. But I did do a lot of occupying of myself with comic books and drawing and really tapping more into the sci-fi world that I've always loved, even when I was in Chicago. But also I had a couple of situations where there were kids that did challenge me, and I ended up with a bully who decided I was the new kid and he was gonna make it be known. And it got to me for a while, and it got to the point where I had to tell him to stop, tell him to stop, tell him to stop. He wouldn't stop. Tell him to stop more. He wouldn't stop. Went home. Mom knew there was something was wrong. She talked to me about it, and she was just like, "Tell him to stop again." and if he don't,
you know what's gonna happen.
Okay, you can say that you may have to put your paws on. You know what I mean?
Whether you could say that was Southside Chicago kicking in, or just me dealing with a part of life that a lot of us have dealt with, I don't know. I'll leave that up to whenever I write my book, who will decipher that.
So the reason why I asked about that, right? Because whether we know it or not, a lot of times people are watching us. People are whether you want to be a role model or whether you know what I'm saying, you even thought about that process of being a role model. There are people right now that actually go through the things that you've gone through. You know what I'm saying? And then they may not know how to navigate it the way that you did it, or they think that they're the only person that may have gone through that or is going through that. So that's the only reason why I wanted you to speak on that, because you have to stay focused in the dreams and the aspirations that you have in order to continue on moving forward, like you did yourself.
I was very much there's very little that can derail my focus from the things that I'm very locked in on. And but with life you have to deal with that too. So with a bully, you have to deal with it. You can't can't live like that. And I'm not a fighter. I'm not, I'm not one of those people. I for the most part I was a good kid. I was out of the doctor's office, but I was a good kid. And even when I say I was in and out of the doctor's office, it wasn't every week, it wasn't every month. We cut ourselves, we nick a finger, we get a splinter. Sometimes we twist things, sometimes we break things. So, but it was also a life lesson, and it was also a lesson to take care of yourself, take care of number one, and not let somebody dictate who you are and how you should be treated. And
Yes.
so that was a huge life lesson to take with me as I'm trying to navigate and um, live this new life
Hmm.
in a whole new state, in a whole new environment, and just trying to figure it all out. To people who are in those situations, I always feel the best thing to do is to try to talk it out and to try to be um, as non-combative as you can. Obviously, defend yourself if need be,
Right.
and be just always try to come out more on top than the other person
Hmm.
if it comes down to that, because again, I believe in the rule, teach people how to treat you.
Right.
Otherwise people are going to feel like they can just do whatever and feel
Hmm.
comfortable and feel justified in doing it.
Did your acting break? Did that start in LA? Like when was your what was your first acting gig?
Well, as far as theater, my first
Hmm.
was in the Bay Area in
Okay.
Berkeley. So I like I said, I'm very proud of my roots as far as my entertainment roots, coming from a place that was very heavily rooted in theater and independent film. I did a lot of theater. I did a lot of independent film. I'm one of the founding members of the African American Shakespeare Company,
Okay.
which was Sherry Young. It's going 30 years strong, and it's been in the mix for that whole time. And this was like another prominent theater company that was coming up at a time when you didn't see a lot of black theater companies
Right.
uh, doing its thing, and also competing against huge theater companies like ACT, and
Mm.
and so. But 30 years later, we're still here and
Mhm.
killing the game, killing the game. There's a
Yeah, and
reason why it's still around for 30 years.
yeah, and
Yeah,
speaking of Shakespeare, you done like sketch comedy too, right? At the Comedy Store. Tell us
yeah,
a little bit about that. Like you
yeah.
doing a lot. You
All right,
done
so
so much.
I I got to give credit to my buddy Al Woodley, who actually
Okay.
who's a fellow actor, and he actually helped to kick that off, and he basically gathered some of his friends, some of his actor friends, and some of I guess the people he thought were funny just hanging out. I guess he felt, hey, we could throw that on stage and do some stuff, and he put it together, and we ended up putting together a sketch comedy around. Okay, this is going to kind of age me, and a lot of people may not remember this, but there was a show with Bill Maher called Politically Correct. I think it
Yep.
was on, yeah, it was
Yeah.
on ABC, and we did kind of a round table type thing of something like that, where it offered each of us the opportunity to play a character,
Right.
and yeah, and we made it funny. We did the funny from that, and
Hmm.
we played the Comedy Store main room, and
Wow.
just to be in the Comedy Store alone is history in itself. But to be backstage and to see so much, and just the halls and rooms that the people sat in, the halls that people walked down, from Robin Williams to Richard Pryor to
Hmm.
Eddie to you know what I'm saying, to Red Fox. I mean, so many of the greats, the
Right.
legends, the goats, and to be there to do that
Right.
was great. And it was wonderful too, because it was a great challenge. I've never prided myself as being funny. I've always saw myself as a theatrical person,
Okay.
a drama. I wanted to come to LA and be that famous dramatic actor or what have you. But to expand myself and to challenge myself by doing comedy in many forms has been one of the highlights and
Yes.
of my career, because I feel great about the fact that I'm diving in there with whatever uncertainty may be in the back of my head, but also being able to take those different types of comedy, those different types
Hmm.
of genres, and be blessed enough to have actually performed them. So like multicam comedy, like live in front of a studio audience,
Hmm.
um, single camera comedy like Modern Family, which I've done, things like that, and of course on stage with sketch comedy.
Right.
Uh, It's been great. It's been awesome.
So as you move through your journey, right? You just talked about all of the different things and the roles that you may have played.
Yes.
Did you find yourself gravitating more to whether it be drama, whether it be theatrical, or you just embrace them all? I mean, I know you just answered the question of some of the things that you have done, but a lot of times people prefer to do one thing over the other. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? And
Sure.
was that something that we can ask you right now? Like one of the things that you prefer doing most, you get most enjoyment out of is
It's
all or which one?
it's a hard answer, man, because it's like it's. I did a multicam. I did an episode of a TV show called Young and Hungry. Lasted, I believe, 3 seasons with Emily Osmond, and it was funny as hell. And I booked that, and it was shocking. It's not that I doubted my abilities, but this was like a funny show, and like the people who work on this, they bring in the funny, And so I booked a major guest star on an episode of it, and of course, with multicam comedy, especially if you're a guest star, like a major guest star, you're working the whole week. You're working 5 days on set, and it's very similar to theater where you're rehearsing, you're blocking, you stand. Walk over, you're doing all the things, and then you bring the audience in and you perform. Only difference is you can stop and do it again, things like that, because you're taping, you're recording an episode of a TV show. But those 5 days along, it was heaven to me. I was just like, I'm in my happy place. I'm in my happy place as an actor. I'm in my happy place as having people be entertained with the funny that I'm bringing,
right?
And it was dope as hell. And so at that moment, when all was said and done, I'm calling my agent, I think then my manager, and I'm like, get me on more multicams, get me on more comedy. I want to do comedy. Now I'm saying this, and then I do the TV show The Orville, and then I do Star Trek, and I'm coming off of that. Because I'm a huge Trekkie. I love Star Trek and I love sci-fi as a whole.
Yeah.
I'm wearing this prosthetic piece where I look like an alien. So between that and all that, I'm loving being on this sci-fi show and wearing this stuff and being able to act through it and just do all the things. I'm calling my reps after that. Get me on more sci-fi. Same with drama. The same with. So it's really hard to answer that because I'd be over the moon with anything that I've landed that, let's say, lasted 8 seasons or whatever.
Right.
The plus would be if it would be something like, hey, you just booked this sci-fi series. It's a dramatic series, and every now and then we drop some funny on you. So, and I've done a couple of versions of that, not 8 years worth, but so. I love the business as a whole. I love it all. And honestly, the most challenging I feel like would probably be comedy. And the most fun would be sci-fi.
Okay. So like script wise as well too, because I know we talk about theater a lot as well too, as far as acting and film.
Sure.
How can you like maneuver back and forth between the two? Is it more easier for like script wise remembering your lines with theater versus you have to prepare for the
Sure
lines?
I mean, for anybody who's done theater, they know it's a whole different animal from television. There you can say there are some similarities, but honestly, it's so much. It's so different in so many ways. Theater is such a discipline that if you're doing it, you have to switch a lot of your mindset. And if you're coming, like, say, from television, I started in theater, so I know a lot of just that process. If I'm doing a play, I'm in a different mindset than I would be if I'm about to report to Paramount to shoot something. Learning lines, oh gosh, it's probably a little bit, I guess, harder, or I'll say more challenging in theater, depending on your part, the character. If you have monologues that you have to memorize, and just there's more to it in terms of just the whole process of working on the character, working on the relationship between your character and other people. Um, you have like the late great August Wilson, who loves to write monologues, loved to write monologues, and they're beautiful pieces. I mean, all of his work is just amazing. He has a lot of monologues in there that if you're playing one of the characters, you're doing a lot of learning. You're learning sometimes 2 pages of like some serious monologue, but it's fun and it's challenging, and it's going back to like multicam comedies. There's a similarity in terms of the prep work for leading up to the performance. Theater is like the template for that, because you're prepping, you're going over the stuff, you're reading the script. You have your script in hand for a while, and while you're doing that, you're doing the blocking, the director telling you where to go and stuff like that. You're writing stuff down, you're marking the hell out of your script, you're putting your own notes in. You're just doing all the things to prep for that, and eventually you have to put the script down.
Right.
Then, you're calling line if you don't know a line, or if you trip up on something. So the whole process is going into the total embodiment of that character. And by the time showtime hits, where the audience is here,
that's one time you can't mess up.
They like, what you gonna do? And
right. And being prepared is a very key element of a lot of different things that we do. You know what
everything.
I'm saying? And I stress that, at least I do, around my people, different things that we do, whatever. You got to be prepared, and then you wonder why, if you weren't prepared, it didn't work out as well as you thought it would work out or it should work out. That's because your preparation sucked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be truthful about it, you need to do more. You know what I mean? So I totally get what you're saying, man, because I try to let people know, man, listen, man, in order to be successful, you have to prepare to be successful. You know what I'm saying?
Stay ready too. Stay ready.
Right.
So you
right.
Listen, no, I would dare to say none of us are perfect in that, but with that knowledge, you know what you have to do. You know the assignment. So if you feel like you need to get back in class, you feel a little rusty, get back in class. If you feel like you need to like fulfill your soul by writing some things down that have been stuck up here for a while, you have an idea for a great film or for a great play or a poem or just a book, write it down. Take that time. Get in the gym. If you're able to, get in the gym and get your sexy on. It's like, lift, do your cardio, take care of your body, take care of yourself, take care of your health, take care of your mental health. Well, it's so important, because it also enables you to switch to this and that quickly, and to activate that thing that's like, all right, we're doing theater. Okay, we're about to do film. All right, we're about to do television. What kind of television are we doing? We're doing a multicam. I already know what I'm getting myself into. I'm doing one day on a TV show, and it's a single cam comedy. All right, cool. I know what I need to do. But at the end of the day, it's still all about preparation, and it's all about just doing it and having fun doing it. It should never be I need to do this. It should be more, I get to do this because I have these opportunities. So let me make the most out of this and have fun. Having fun is the key to all of this.
To all the actors out there, listen, you better listen to. I said to all the actors out there, listen, them upcoming actors, y'all better listen to this vet, because you can't be showing up to audition late.
Don't show up late. Come early.
And so Rico, one of the things that I enjoy the most about you, right, just in this interview, right, is not only have you done it, right, because I'm gonna talk about all that.
I'm still doing it.
Right, and you still doing it, and you still active in what you're doing. You dig what I'm saying? But one of the things that I'm enjoying the most, man, is when you speak, you also are teaching at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of guys that need to learn different things to be in the business. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the business end of the business or it's the creative end of the business. You know what I mean? There's a lot to this, man. You know what I mean? And you are living proof, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever my mind can conjure up, goddamn, I'm gonna go and give a shot. I'm gonna take a shot at it. You know what I'm saying? And A lot of people get deterred, man, because they don't never kind of believe in themselves to give
Sure.
themselves a different opportunity to do something different.
So let me just say something on that. I feel like there are a lot of people can get deterred because a lot of people before they come to this town have preconceived notions of what
Right.
this business is like.
Mm.
And when you touched on the business of the business, that's something they don't really teach us in acting 101 or any level of, if we're majoring in theater arts like I did in college at San Francisco State University, or any classes that we may take outside of university. We don't get those lectures or those discussions. But one of the mistakes that I feel like a lot of actors coming to this town make is they feel like as soon as I land here, I'm going to get an agent. These agents are going to get me out there. I got the look. I got this. I got that. And in about 3 years, I'm there, baby, top of the world. And then they get here and like 6 months in, they're like, how come I haven't gotten anything? How come I haven't gotten an audition? How come this is not happening or that's not happening? And it's not the same for everybody. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's like, nobody knows you. And your name has to get around. Who you are has to circulate in the industry in terms of like casting directors, in many cases producers. How are your materials? How is your headshot? How's your demo reel? Do you have a demo reel?
Right.
Is it good? Fine. You don't have network stuff? Okay. And yes, there is that catch-22 that a lot of people won't even give you a look if you don't have a network credit. Well, how do I get a network credit? I get an audition for one, and eventually I book one. But I can't do that if they don't see that I have network. It's this weird catch-22. But With that said, me and thousands, millions of other actors have come to this town. I eventually had to make the demo reel out of what I had. And that was basically an accumulation of independent film work that I did. But what I did was I chose wisely in terms of the type of work that I saw myself doing, the type of characters that I saw myself playing, the type of leading man material that I saw myself going out for. Will I always be going out for these things as I'm trying to raise my resume and raise my star and build my resume? Maybe so, maybe not. I got to be liquid about that. But at the end of the day, the understanding is, hey, you got to be patient. Patience is everything. It's almost the most important thing in this business. If you are not patient, you're going to run yourself crazy. When you're on set and you're waiting to go on, whether or not you're the number one on the call sheet or your background, you're still doing a lot of waiting.
Yep.
Because of this reason, that reason, this reason, and that reason. You got to have patience, but you also have to understand that
you got to do the work too.
You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
That's part of it. If you don't understand this business, and if you're not open to understanding it and thinking that everybody back home said I was pretty, everybody back home said I was funny, everybody back home said I'm going to be the next Kevin Hart, I'm going to be the next Rock, I'm going to be the next Julia Roberts, Denzel, Pacino. Okay, fine. Come out here and give us a reason why that's the case. But while you're doing that, patience, man, and make sure you got your side, your end of the bargain tight and ready to go. Don't take it personally. It's not always about you sucked as an actor. It's not always about somebody else before I went into the audition room is coming out laughing and joking with the casting director in there, and they must have a relationship with them. Oh, they must have got the part. Well, I'm faded because guess what? I'm next.
Right.
And don't worry about that relationship. That has
Right.
nothing to do
Worry
with
about you.
Go in there, throw your thing down, and give them a reason to be like, this person just killed it. And maybe they're right for this, but guess what? They didn't book this role, but they booked the room. We're going to bring them back. Or maybe they actually did mess around and book the thing. And even though that person that came out the room who gave the impression that they nailed it just based on that relationship for 2 seconds that you saw, maybe they just didn't do as good a job as you did, and you came in there, blew their draws off, and now you booked the part. So there's so many different things, you know.
No, I imagine it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all part of doing the work. It's all part of kind of preparing yourself, and also kind of separating yourself, man, about some of the things that you do and the work that you put in, man. You gotta have a signature of what you do so people can remember who you was when you did what you did. You know what I'm saying? And
give them a reason.
Right.
A reason.
Right.
Give a reason. I just want to say one more thing on that, because you know, there's a lot that's changing in the industry today in terms of like the next generation coming in, and a lot of different things that are kind of hitting the forefront, like verticals and new parts of the industry, and of course, you know, AI and all sorts of. There's a lot that's changing in this industry, and there's a lot that either will stick or may not stick. People can't really trip off of that in a way where it's gonna, you know, like I was saying before, deter them from still getting to work. Create your own work. Write some stuff. Be involved in your own career. Be more involved in your own career than even your own agent or manager is going to be. And still make it so they're doing what they're going to do to try to get you auditions and work and all that kind of stuff. But write, direct, make music, do whatever it is you're going to do for yourself as well, because that's gonna resonate through auditions that you have, how you carry yourself out there, people that you meet when you're at events, things like that. It all plays a part in it, and you got to be ready. You got to
stay ready.
Speaking of being ready, let's talk about a little bit about Truth Be Told. Like, what was that experience like working with Octavia Spencer?
Octavia is a leader, and she is cool as hell, and it was so wonderful to get the opportunity to work with her. She's very much an actor's actor. She is very giving when it comes to collaboration on whatever it is we're working on together. Working with that cast and some of the people that, you know, I've either seen coming up in my career, or just people that I may have seen here and there, and of course like legends like Octavia Spencer, got Mekhi Phifer, who was a part of the cast, Ron Cephas Jones, rest in peace. They're all just master classes at acting, at being in production, and at just to be honored. It's an honor just to say that I've worked with them. I've shared the call sheet with them. You know, Octavia was great. It was always amazing and wonderful to watch her work, and to when I had the opportunity to be a part of that work, because I'm in that scene or whatever. It's just great to have that. It's just great to have. It was a lot of fun. It was a new show on Apple TV Plus, so there was a lot riding on it, and it was 3 wonderful years. It was a lot of fun. We had a little hiccup because of the pandemic, but coming back into production for that, it was almost like we didn't lose a beat.
Yeah, and, no question about that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And they really took care of everyone. You know, from I keep specifying, you know, number one on the call sheet to everybody else, but they really looked out for and gave the attention where it was needed to everybody. Everybody was, for the most part, very cool, and you know, we talked to everybody no matter what your status. You know, it was like we were just having fun. We were having fun. We were making some art. There's a bunch of black folks up here killing the game, doing a series that could have easily starred all white people in a sense.
Right.
But Nichelle Tramble-Spellman took that, flipped it upside down, and put the situations that we were in what it was that we were able to take and use and entertain on the level that we did. It was a lot of fun. We
No
we only
question.
went 3 seasons. I was really hoping we go on 4, but hey, that's another part of the business that
That's
sometimes.
another part of the business. So
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit, right? Right,
Uh,
because some people may not know what you were saying when you said it. When you use the word merger, right?
mhm.
Explain a little bit about that, the merger, about the different things that happen merged, because a lot of people, just hear that wouldn't know exactly what you were speaking on when you were actually speaking on that at that time.
Sure. So a lot of the big studios,
Okay.
Disney, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Sony. Those are like the big dogs. And
Right.
lately, we've been having mergers of
Okay.
one studio purchasing another. You have Paramount, which just purchased Warner Brothers, or they're in the process of purchasing Warner Brothers.
Right. Right.
Uh, so you have these mergers that may or may not have been a part of some productions that may have been put on ice, or some things that may have been canceled as a result of business decisions being
Right.
made, things like that. Um, a lot of that is happening now. Some say it's because of a lot that's going on in the economy, a lot that's going on with some of the owners of some of these studios, uh, and just some business practices that are just kind of hitting the industry as a whole, and
Right.
us being in the business are getting caught in that crossfire.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by mergers. You have companies, basically two companies that are like, hey, we're going to get together, we're going to form this power
Okay.
company, and here
Yeah.
we are. Whatever may change, we'll see as it goes.
No doubt. Let's
Yeah.
talk about what you're doing now. Let's move. Like, tell us all the different things that you're doing now, and all the many different things that you're involved with right now. So, speak on that a little bit, man, because you are still doing your thing. Whether
Right.
if somebody had an opportunity to read your bio, they'd be like, "Well, goddamn," and I'm like, "No, he ain't even
Scratches.
began.
It ain't
He ain't
over.
even,
It ain't over.
it ain't over.
No,
He still got more in the tank, baby. You know what
I
I
got
mean?
I the tank is just forever full as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I retiring is not a thing that is in my vocabulary. I
Right.
locked that
Okay.
up, threw that underground, threw some concrete on top, and said, "Do not open ever, ever." Even if you happen to chisel through that and you're like, "Hey, what's this box?" On the box, do not open ever. Retirement
Mhm.
is not. It's not gonna happen. But with
Yeah.
that said, I've been very blessed to have some really amazing, couple of really amazing pieces coming out. So last summer, I was blessed enough to have my first time ever in Canada. Never been to Canada in my life, so I had a chance to fly to Canada, Toronto actually, and I am a part of and shot the first season of The Greatest. And The Greatest is about the life of Muhammad Ali, the greatest.
Wow. Mm.
And it's the first time a series has ever been created on Muhammad Ali. There's
Right.
been a movie with Will Smith. There has been documentaries and specials and things like that. Ali has been, of course, featured in certain projects and things like that. But as far as this is the
Actual series.
story. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is the first time this has ever been done. And what's wonderful about television in this respect is it's this is the first season, so it's the question of how
Mm.
many seasons, but within like x amount of episodes that we're doing, we're able to really deep dive into his life, whereas
Right.
a movie may speak on it, touch up on it a little bit, or not even be able to mention it because of time and things like that. So the first season is happening. It's in the can, and I'm playing so Muhammad Ali had uh, he had his first fight that basically got him the heavyweight championship,
Mhm.
and I play Willie Reddish, who is Sonny Liston's trainer.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, and,
Okay. Keep
yeah.
going. Now I'm intrigued. I want to
Yeah,
see the shit right now. I want to. I'm saying.
I do too. I do too.
Right.
I wish I knew when it was coming out because I'd let you know it. But no, whew, it's it's gonna be history like no other, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. I'm saying that
Right.
because Ben Watkins, who is the showrunner and the creator of the series, um, has gone through such detail to
Mm.
bring his life, Muhammad Ali's life, to life, and to really give it the respect and the honor that it deserves. And it's just going to be an amazing piece. I'm so excited for the world to really experience that. So I spent a lot of time in Canada last
I
year.
can't wait till that come out. I'm
Well,
ready.
I also think I don't want to like interrupt you, but I just want to say that I personally think that this series is going to be received very well. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, most
Because of
definitely.
everything that you just said about the other movies being done, but not a series. Like nobody got into the weeds, into the details of the day-to-day daily things that happen within this man's life. So with that being said, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let you finish. You know what I mean? 'Cause, I don't want
Oh
to throw your thought off.
oh no, it's all good. All I can say is just be ready, be
Yeah,
ready, be ready,
yeah,
because when the advertisements start coming out, when the just just be ready, be ready.
yeah, yeah.
Um, Another one that I really had a great opportunity to work on was a TV show that unfortunately only lasted the season, but it's still on Amazon Prime. Oh, and The Greatest is going to be coming out on Amazon Prime as
Okay.
well. Yeah, when they start off. But another show that was on Amazon Prime that I had the opportunity to be a part of was a show called Countdown,
Mm.
starring
Mm.
Vincent Eccles from The Boys and also from Supernatural. So
Okay.
yeah, so I did an episode of that, and I played a really cool character, and this was drama. So one, single cam, but drama, had a chance to play a character that I've never really deep dived into before on this level. So that's been great. Um, and also, just recently, for people who know the TV show Snowfall, there is a sequel series that's in development, that's already been greenlit, and that is currently being shot. And I've just joined the cast of that. It's not too long ago.
And you're also known as that dude who was in, yep, the thing. Let
That
everybody know about that too. For those that don't know, like, how did that come about?
so many people look at me and they go, "How do I know you? You look so familiar, or you look like an actor." And it's like, "Are you an actor?" "Yeah, I knew you were an actor. You were in what?" And I'm like, "Truth be told, SWAT, The Rookie, Two and a Half Men, Two Broke Girls, NCIS." They're like, "That thing." So you know, so I got that. I get it so much
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I was like, "That's me. That's me."
Okay.
Yeah, and
yeah, no question.
honestly, that's a huge chunk of the population of actors.
Okay.
You see a lot of the A-listers and the people who are out there in the spotlight and get a lot of the accolades and the attention and the publicity and things like that. But the majority of actors who are working and maybe not working as much, but working towards being a working actor. The majority of us are those people who are in those various things because we're in this show. Next thing you know, we're booking that show, and that show could
Mhm.
be a drama, that show could be a comedy. Going back to the beginning of our conversation, it could be sci-fi. It could be so many different things, and yeah, that. And I've been blessed to have done some TV shows where I'm solid in that, like Truth Be Told,
Okay.
and
Right.
other ones. Yeah, so but when you look at my career, I've done a lot of well-known, popular shows from across the spectrum that people have watched, enjoyed, loved, hated. Who knows? But you
Let
know,
Yeah.
me ask you. Let me ask you this: have you done any Broadway, or do you want to do any Broadway?
I did some off Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, long time ago. It was actually a written piece that a friend of mine had produced and threw me in. But
Okay.
doing Broadway, oh gosh, yes, God, yes, yes. I mean, I want to get back on stage.
Okay.
I want to do a full run production. It's just a lot of it is it's time, it's timing,
I
it's
love stage plays. I mean, I just love them.
yeah,
I love them.
you escape like no other. It's something to, it's an experience, and it's fun. And getting back to what I was going to say before, it's very rough, rugged, and raw, because once that curtain rises or those lights come up or that curtain parts, you are on. And you know what you're going to do. You know what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, where you're going to say it, what's going to be happening as things are going on. And then something doesn't happen. The light don't go out. Something falls. Somebody forgets their line. Somebody says their line that is 2 pages from the current page that you're on.
But you got to keep going.
And like I said earlier, the audience sit up there going, what you going to do?
Right.
And you like, got to work it out. And I think anybody who's ever been in theater has had that experience. It happens. We're human. Sometimes things happen and you work it out. And sometimes the audience doesn't even know what happened, if anything. Or if it does happen, hey, I remember seeing Lion King on Broadway. And right at the end, when you see the sun and all that, they were blinds. Well, one of the blinds got caught. And you're seeing that. This is Broadway. This is Broadway. Broadway, where technically ain't nothing supposed to happen there. But the sun,
you usually don't see it until you actually see it at the end and watch it. You be but
it happens.
No doubt.
But that's the rawness of it, and that's the fun of it. And if you're ready, if you're prepared, if you know what's going on, you work it out.
Right. Especially if you're there in the moment. You got to be in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like that gets lost with a lot of people, man. They're not there in the moment. That, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Even on TV. Even on TV, you still got to be prepared. You can't be like, we're doing TV. If I mess up, I can do it again. You still got to be on it. You still got to be on it. Because sometimes things happen in a take that they look at it and they're like, leave that in there. That was dope as hell.
Right.
Oh my God. There's a lot of that what we see that sometimes, and not all the time, but sometimes they're like, man, they put that button on the end of that scene and it works.
And it works.
Leave it in. I love it. Boom. So
So I got a question. I got a question. Throughout your journey, and all the many people and all the many actors that you've come across, had the opportunity to work with, have the opportunity to be around certain places. Was there a particular person, actor, whoever it may be, friend, whoever, gave you a jewel, man, that you was able to use from the time that you start to right now? You know what I mean? That you continually think about something that somebody said to you, man, at some point in your career, that you kind of use that becomes part of who you are, your mantra. You put that in your head and you never forget that, man. Is there a particular person or particular thing that you come across?
I'm gonna give you 3 people, and I'm gonna try to make it quick. Yeah. So first of all, Sidney Poitier is
yes, sir.
Will always be a hero of mine on so many different levels, from his activism to his acting to how he presented himself in the roles that he played, the things that he did that just gave pride to being a Black man.
Yes, sir.
At a time when they weren't seeing us as anything like what Mr. Poitier portrayed.
Absolutely.
Very dignified and very just very astute and very on it, and very much the template of what we as Black people in this business I still believe carry to this day. On camera, and it helped to shape our minds in terms of really going even harder forward towards not just accepting anything and striving for those roles that go beyond what society may just see us as. And we played those two, but so that was always the thing. Actually, my grandmother gave me a copy of This Life, his autobiography. And I have it to this day. And she was like, you should read this book. If acting is what you truly want to do, read this man's book, his rags to riches story. Not even knowing English at the time when he was living in New York, doing odd jobs and just trying to figure out what he wants to do in life, and eventually doing, theater and eventually film and having the legacy that he's had. So Mr. Poitier, definitely.
Okay.
Uh, Ron Cephas Jones from This Is Us, and also my co-star from Truth Be Told. Such a masterclass in the process,
Yeah.
and the creation of the characters that he had, how he executed his work, how he executed being, how he acted, how he showed, how he gave us that gift of whatever character it was that he played. If people ever have the opportunity to someday see his notes on his script pages, damn. just true artist through and through.
Yeah.
And we lost a great one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a friend, and I had the opportunity. Actually, ironically, the last thing I saw him in was what we did with Truth Be Told. But before that, I had a chance to see him on Broadway, and see his work in theater. So yeah, Ron Cephas Jones, rest in peace.
Okay.
I would say definitely Octavia, for her process, for her amazing acting ability, her friendship, her leadership.
Yeah.
Her way of taking the work and chopping it up and making it, into the performances that we've seen from her as well. Robert Guillaume. Robert Guillaume, the late great Robert Guillaume. For people who don't know who Mr. Guillaume is, he played in the TV show Soap 1,000 years ago, and from that he got a spinoff called Benson. A lot of people didn't realize, and I discovered this. A kid coming up, he was a huge opera singer. He was a singer. He was the first Black Phantom of the Opera. I happened to catch a PBS performance of him in, was it Pearly? It was Pearly, yeah, with Melba Moore, and it was my first time ever hearing him sing, and just being mesmerized by that, coming from theater, loving theater. I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Guillaume and actually sit down and have, I believe, a 3-hour conversation with him.
Wow.
Listen, man.
He came to see the show that I did at the Fountain Theater called The Ballad of Emmett Till. And that was my first time actually meeting him. But the second time I had an opportunity to actually sit and talk to him and had just an amazing conversation with him. And as I was leaving the speaking to him, his house actually, he said, "It was really a pleasure to meet you, Rico." This is through a mutual friend of ours who set up the meeting and stuff. And he was like, "It was a pleasure to meet you, Rico." And I had an opportunity to tell him basically a lot of the things that I told you about, my journey and what I want to do, what I want to be when I grow up. And he said, "Look, you have a beautiful smile. Do not let Hollywood take that away from you."
Come on, man.
And
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Hey, Rico.
Hey,
man, we can do this. We can do this so long because there's other subjects I didn't even get into.
Right.
I didn't even get into. Yeah, we can do it.
Absolutely.
Because I didn't even get into your cultural activism yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't even, but listen, there's going to be a part 2. So y'all people that's watching this right now, y'all stay tuned, man. So when we sit down with Rico E. Anderson once again, you know what I'm saying? So, but before we go, I need you to shout out and plug, everything and everybody that's helped you get to a place that I know the list is long, guys.
That's part 3, man.
Right.
That's part 3.
But let's just break it down real quick, man. Some of those that help you get to where you are today. You know what I mean? And then also, being that we're doing that, if anybody want to contact you or in contact or get in touch with you in some of the different projects that you're doing, I need you to also drop that social media and let them know, man, where they can find out, man, and the different things they need to know from Rico E. Anderson, my brother.
Okay. My family has always been super supportive of me. My mom my grandmother, you know, again, who gave me that book on Miss Poitier.
Mm-hmm.
The any uncertainty that was there flew out the window very quickly when they saw how serious I was as I was making my ways toward Los Angeles to further pursue my
Yeah.
career. So my family always comes first in that, and I have to just really give a lot of thanks to a lot of the teachers and a lot of my mentors and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people in this business who knows who they are, but who took a chance on me,
Right.
and had enough to really say, let's see if we can get this guy where we think this guy can be. Um, it would have to be a whole new list and a whole other episode, but I promise you, there are people out there who have very much been on my side, and
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
thank that. I thank them for that, and I thank
Right.
I'll just say also, listen, I thank the people who didn't believe in me,
Yep.
and because
Yep.
I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm never
Yep.
going to stop, and I'm
Mhm.
always going to be that person who's going to have. I'm just sit back and watch my smoke. You know?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, man, listen, man, for all my people out there,
Thank you
man, y'all
so
heard
much.
it first.
Thank you so much. I'm
Right.
so glad that I ran into you in LA. I'm so
Yes.
glad.
Yeah.
That
All right.
was amazing. I'm glad we were able to work this out too. And hey, the conversation will not end. You guys can catch me on Instagram. It's I am Rico Anderson. I am Rico Anderson. You can catch me on the socials, same handle, and catch me on TV and catch me
Yeah.
all
All day, every day, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Because you got
everything.
about 140, 160 different things
Right.
that they can figure out. So look, not only is you so good, you just don't be on one channel, you damn near is on all of them. So, you know what I'm saying? So,
trying to cover the
147
spectrum of what you watch. What we gonna watch?
Right.
Rico gonna be on it, so
Rico gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? So
There you
listen,
go.
man, let me just say this before we go, man, and I just want to say this to you, man. May you be blessed.
Thank
Or
you.
continue on being blessed in all the different things that you do every day, and may you prosper in
Yes.
each and everything that you do, each and every day that you do it, my brother. You heard?
I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Thank you.
No
Thank you
doubt,
so
baby. Hey, it's been an honor, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna do this again, baby. It's not just, listen, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell everybody,
And
man,
before we
y'all hold
leave,
on for a second. Let me call in Rico. You know what I mean?
before we
party's never
leave,
gonna end, so.
I have to say this too, because we got to
Yes, sir.
plug our social media platforms as well too. If y'all want to see this full interview, please go to YouTube.MediaMade TV. Go to MediaMadeMagazine.com. We're on Media Made Magazine Instagram. We're on Media Made Magazine TikTok. Media Made Magazine everywhere. All
Google
right.
them. Google
Yes.
them because they are everywhere.
Yes.
Yes. Get with
Hey,
them.
Rico,
Thank you
baby.
guys. You
It
guys
was
were
beautiful,
amazing.
man.
I'm so happy we got a chance to talk, Sonny. It's great to see you again.
Thank you.
And hey, listen, Sang, let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling.
We definitely gonna keep it going, man. Cause I can do this all day. If you know me, you know I can sit there and man, we had these conversations, like you know what I mean? Cause I'm, I ain't gonna date myself, but I'm just saying I've been around to where I seen a lot of this materialized, and I was in and out of a lot of those places. And then I'm just being the guy that I am. I don't make a lot of noise. I'm just loud voiced. You know what I mean? So, hey man. Hey man, it was beautiful, man, and take care, man. And I just want to say peace, man.
Thank you, both of you. Big love. Appreciate
No
you.
doubt.
All right.